The only thing better than a made-up holiday is a made-up holiday that gets its very own week, Negroni Week. While I am a bit of a bah humbug guy when it comes to made-up holidays or weeks of a holiday, people might not be fully understanding my aversion to them. I'm mainly calling out the national holidays, like National Margarita Day, when there is no nation behind it. It's the national day of whatever. No, it's not. Some dude was just mowing his lawn, it was hot outside, and he said it would be cool to have a margarita holiday, and that's how these things start. And some people are like, hey man, yeah, it's made up, but all holidays are made up. And you would be correct, even though at least national holidays usually have some conversation, some legislation, some official meaning, and a purpose behind them. But yes, all holidays are made up, as is everything else in your life. But that is a truly bitter pill to swallow. And speaking of bitter pill, let's talk about Campari and Negroni Week, because it is made up, but not a fake national holiday, and it's something that does a little good and has a charitable partner behind it. Imbibe magazine started Negroni Week back in 2013, and today bars can sign up and then they are featured and they make a donation to Slow Food. Now, it's no surprise that besides Imbibe, the main sponsor behind this is Campari, but that's to be expected. So today, we'll make a few Negronis, and all are ones that lean into the tropical, tiki, or rum aspect in some way. Now, in the past, you might remember that I covered the Beachcomber Negroni from the Tropical Standard book. That one is delicious, and if you love Negronis, you should check that out, but it does require a little bit of work and preparation. I'll leave a link to that up here and in this episode's description, but today's Negronis will all be much easier to make. We'll try out the Kingston Negroni from Joaquin Simo, the Amaro di Coco from Ryan Lotz, and then a more standard Negroni, but we're using a coconut oil wash Plymouth gin instead of gin. A classic Negroni is an equal parts cocktail of gin, sweet vermouth, and Campari, and we're gonna do that, except I'm swapping out my gin for a coconut oil washed Plymouth gin. It's the same one I just used a few weeks ago in the Blue Leilani, which is also from the Tropical Standard book. It's 1 liter of Plymouth gin to 250 milliliters of a melted coconut oil. Let that infuse for 4 hours, and then pop it into your freezer. Once it hardens, get rid of the coconut oil and filter it through a coffee filter. So for this twist on the Negroni, you'll need sweet vermouth, Campari, and that coconut oil washed Plymouth gin. We're going to start with 1 ounce of a sweet vermouth, 1 ounce of Campari, and 1 ounce of our coconut oil washed gin. Super excited to try this one. That coconut oil wash Plymouth gin is delicious. If you haven't tried it yet, haven't done the Blue Leilani, it's definitely worth it. It's easy to make too, so let's try it. That is so much more mellow than I would have anticipated. The coconut is more of a finish. You can get it on the back of your palate, but the first thing you get is Negroni. It's gin, it's sweet vermouth, it's Campari, and just a finish of that coconut oil wash gin. And then you do get a little bit more rounder flavors. It takes off, I think, a little bit of the edge of the bitterness that you would normally get from Campari. When you're not doing it side by side with a traditional Negroni with the same Plymouth gin, it's hard to say exactly how much that coconut is changing the texture of it, and it ends up being just much more subtle than I would have thought. All right, next up, we're gonna make the Kingston Negroni, and it's a modern classic cocktail and was created by Joaquin Simo. It is a pretty standard recipe, but we're replacing the gin in the standard Negroni with a Jamaican rum. Now, the standard here is to use Smith & Cross, but there are other options here, like more budget-friendly options like Plantaray Zaimaca. I'm gonna use that today because I have very little Smith & Cross left, and I don't really want to go out and buy another bottle. We'll start with 1 ounce of a Sweet Vermouth, 1 ounce of Campari, and then 1 ounce of a Jamaican rum. So I've made this version before many times with the Smith & Cross. If you've been following along a long time, I made this way back in the day when I probably had, I don't know, 300 subscribers on YouTube. So I'm familiar with it, but let's try it. I mean, it's just as good as it's always been. First flavor you get, Jamaican rum. It's not too much. It's not too funky. It helps round out the Campari. And in this one, if we're comparing it back to the last one, you're getting a bitter finish here from the Campari, but the rum is up front, where the last one, it was like the bitterness up front and the gin up front, but that coconut flavor came in at the end. So if you like Jamaican rum, you're not a big gin lover, you will love this. It is just the right amount of sweetness. It is not too bitter, and it has that nice punch of Jamaican funk. Moving along, we're now going to make the Amaro di Coco, and this is a full-on tiki cocktail inspired by the Negroni and can be found in the Easy Tiki book. It was created by Ryan Lotz from Shore Leave in Boston. It combines pineapple juice, coconut cream or cream of coconut, sweet vermouth, Campari, a black rum, and an aged Jamaican rum. Now, the coconut cream or cream of coconut from the Easy Tiki book is equal parts coconut milk to cream of coconut. I'm going to start with 1.5 ounces of pineapple juice, 1.5 ounces of our cream of coconut, 1 ounce of a sweet vermouth, 1 ounce of Campari, 1/2 ounce of a black rum, and 1 ounce of an aged Jamaican rum. All right, let's try our full-on tiki Negroni. It is delicious. It plays more into, a revised pina colada. Not necessarily like an Angolada, but you get the bitterness, obviously, coming from the Campari. It's not too bitter, so it's reminiscent of that bitterness you would get from Angostura bitters. A little bit of the sweet vermouth, mainly just a little bit of that flavor from the sweet vermouth, and then mainly cream of coconut, hints of pineapple, and that black rum. That black rum, or the Hamilton in this case, pot still black rum, is a very bold, dark rum. So you're getting lots of Jamaican funk. The Appleton is probably a little bit lost there, but I'm sure it's helping round it out to give a little more of a rummy flavor, so we're not totally overpowered by the Hamilton. I would not use more of the Hamilton in a drink like this because I think it's plenty funky. We're talking about something that is really less Negroni, more pina colada, and having just a little bit of funk there helps. Now, like the pina colada, we got no acidity except for the pineapple juice, but a Negroni does not either. So is it a Negroni? Sure. It has the flavor profile you're used to in a Negroni, but you get those tropical flavors from your pineapple juice, your rum, and of course, that black Jamaican rum. So there you go. 3 Negronis, and who knew you could make Negronis taste so good? Now I have a bonus for you, because earlier today I filmed a Negroni slushie, and if you truly love Negronis, then head on over to my other channel. Yes, I have a second channel, Make and Drink Frozen, where I share frozen recipes, mainly in the ninja slushie world. But I found a recipe there, revised it a little bit. It's more in the Dawn the Beachcomber camp, and it was amazing. So that's it for this one. That's it for 3 Negronis and Negroni Week. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like below. Consider subscribing to the channel. If you want to support this channel more, go check out the Patreon page. And otherwise, see you on the next one.